basically I just take that scan and I'm going to duplicate that layer. Then I'm going to create a white layer in between. So I'm coming up here. I've set these to 0, so I've got full white. And I'm going to edit fill. And there it is. That's in. So now on the background copy, let's go ahead and lock down. The reason I lock it is because then it can't disturb that layer accidentally. I can't accidentally hit it or disturb it, so it's locked down. So I'm going to the background copy. I'm going to adjust brightness contrast, and I'm going to bump that up. And it basically just takes the white of the paper. So I'm going to say like, let's do 15 on the brightness. All right, then I'm going to select color range, and I'm going to take that dropper and I'm going to drop it on the white of the paper. And then I'm going to go up here to filter, no, select similar, and then I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. On my keyboard, I'm hitting delete. And I'm not really happy with that. Command Z, Command Z. All right, let's do this. Let's take that background copy and let's duplicate it again and hit multiply. So I've got a stronger black line to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and command on my keyboard, I'm going to hit Command E, and that's going to make that layer sandwich down. And then image adjust, brightness contrast. Yeah, about 5, 6, 5. Select color range, and I select the white of the paper, okay. And then on my keyboard I hit delete, and that's going to delete the paper texture. So now I've got the background copy. I'm going to hit multiply, and then I'm going to again duplicate that layer. It gives me a darker line, and then I'm going to command on my keyboard. I'm going to Command E, and that sandwiches it down. I'm going to take this lasso tool. I'm going to go around the image, and then I'm going to select inverse, which selects the outside of that lasso area. I hit delete on my keyboard. All right, so that cleans all that up. And so now I'm going to go select color range, and you can see the white of the paper has already been deleted, but now I'm going to delete this area here. So I'm going to select it here, hit OK, and that hit delete. All right, so now I've got a complete white background. You can see that, I mean, that's clear. I've got a line work on top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this drawing up. Like everywhere that I overshot, like things that are messy, like in the nose or here or in the eye, and you'll see that I'm going to be cleaning up. And this is not, to me, this is, normally right now I just put on some music and I get in the flow, but I'm just going to take this eraser tool and I'm going to start erasing areas out that don't need to be here, that either I overshot. So when I'm drawing in my ink pen, I never worry about making it perfect. I just get it down, and I know that I have this opportunity to come back in and clean it up in Photoshop. Uh, so I have to decide, do I want a big nose or smaller nose? I'm going to go with the smaller nose. I'll erase this out. And, you know, I am looking for small things and big things to erase. I mean, and I'll go in and out, you know, on my, command. I'm going to turn off some other applications. I'm going to turn off my calendar, Chrome, email. I'm going to close that out. I don't need that. For some reason, my Photoshop was dragging. I'm not sure. It was running a little slow. Okay, so I'm using a stylus pen on a Wacom tablet. I'm not using my mouse on this. I'm going in here and I'm looking for areas that I drew through. Like, oh man, I'm hungry. I need to go get some eggs or something. My stomach is growling. But in here, you can see I've got his hand, and then I've got the bags on the hand. This is a thing of lettuce over here. It's sticking out. And he's carrying these bags in from the grocery. I'm gonna go ahead and erase right here, like the bag is wrapped around his hand. And see, I've got the bag. It's either small or big, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it big by erasing this out, and that creates that bag shape. So not only do I erase, but I come in here and get the ink tool, and this is a classic cartoonist Kyle ink box classic cartoonist. I usually set it like 23, 20, somewhere in there. I'm gonna get a rich black and make sure my black is 100% on the block, and then that gives me the ability to draw in here. If I erase out an area that needs to be cleaned, this bag is on his arm here. Cleaning up the elbow. All right, so clean up that where I drew through on the neck. So I like to come in and out just to kind of eyeball it from far out, like it's gonna be seen. This is a little slanty. I'm gonna go ahead and make that a little bit more round. Oops, wrong tool. Eraser tool. All right, clean up on the ear here. Clean up the hair. I'm gonna hit save. File, save. Hit OK. You see it saved down there on the far left. I'm going to close this one. Well, I'll keep that open. Command tab. Preview. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I'm also going to go around. I'm drawing around with that lasso tool, and I'm basically cleaning up everything that I don't want on the outside of the drawing. Select inverse, delete on my keyboard, clean it up, and clean this up. Select and delete, select delete. All right, I'm continuing to clean up with the eraser tool. I'm cleaning up my line work. Normally I don't have to talk and illustrate at the same time. Normally I just turn on the radio, get in the zone, and don't have to think twice about what it is I'm doing. But I'm trying to make this video. Now, why do I take time to show the secret sauce behind this process? Well, um, I am building relationships with other illustrators. Those illustrators may or may not be part of our agency at some point. I have a lot of overflow work where I'm currently 59. I've been doing this for 37 years. And as I continue to move towards, I absolutely love what I do. It's been a perfect career, and I make great money at it. And it's just been a really natural fit for me. But it would be nice as the grandkids start to show up. I've got 2 grandkids now, and hopefully more on the way. And as the grandkids are part of my life, and I want to have more time for them, it would be nice to be able to delegate to other illustrators as work comes in. So, for instance, if I can train other people on how to do work similar to what I do, when they call our agency looking for me in particular, and I have other illustrators that do stuff similar, I can say, hey, yeah, my schedule's full, but I have somebody that I want you to take a look at and see if their work might be a match. And as the agent, I get 30%. So, for instance, if the job's $1,000, $300 of that would come to me, $700 would go to the illustrator, and the illustrator would do the bulk of the work, especially after they're trained. It takes a while to train somebody. I mean, it takes a long while actually to get them up to speed. But once they're up to speed, they can make good money. I can make good money, and we can make good money together. And that's why I I want to show the secret sauce of what I'm doing. All right, so we're still racing out. We're trying to make the bags here. Um, what does the bag look like? It's kind of got a, all right, getting better here, cleaning up. See, I don't want that bag to be wonky. I had to draw it twice with the ink pen, and when I did, now this drawing was created with a Bic, just a Bic pen. It's nothing special. I mean, it's probably one of the cheapest pens you can buy, but I have grown very comfortable with that pen over like it's just I would sketch with it, and then one day as I was sketching, I don't really like the looseness of this. Maybe instead of me re-inking it, let me just use my sketch, and that's what I started to do. I I'd become more and more confident over the years in my ability to draw, and um, and then I just like I drew this foot, this leg and this foot first. It was too short, so I drew it a second time, knowing that I can erase it out. And that's what we're doing here. And I got to look at that foot. Do I want the round? No, I'm just going to keep it pointy, I guess. Take that out. All right, we're taking this out. This is kind of like watching grass grow. I've got one illustrator in particular that's really good with motifs, and she, we're trying to get her to a point where she's making some decent money with a faster technique. This is a little slower technique, in my opinion. I want her just to get used to making money as an illustrator before we start complicating her technique. So I've got her on the simplest plan, which is ink and color fill, like uh, like we do solid colors. And but this one has a little bit more nuance to it. And down the road, I'll start working with her on watercolor too as a second portfolio for her. But right now we're going to stick with the solid line and the color fill. But I'm letting her know that I'm thinking about it and it's on my mind. But it's just we're not ready for this yet. It's it's just premature. We got to take baby steps. I'd like to see her make, like $3,000-4,000 a month. Uh, if she's making $3,000 a month, that's 36,000 a year. In my opinion, that's kind of the low end of somebody that's working full time. If you're not making $36,000 a year as an illustrator, it's we let's just you're kind of a hobbyist. Um, but I mean, I do it full time. I don't have any other job. So, if somebody's working as an art director and they have a full time job as an art director or, some other job and they do illustration on the side, then, make what you want to make. It really doesn't matter. But I mean, we all know that 36,000 is not a lot of money. And that comes out to about $3,000 a month. So once she starts making $36,000 a year with that line work and solid fill color, then I'll cut her loose and let her start working on some watercolor too. But I don't even show watercolor on my portfolio. I mean, you can go on my site and I don't even show it. These are people that have used watercolor in the past and they ask for it. They remember that I do it and they specifically ask for it. I just think it takes too long for the money, So, all right. So I'm going to crop this in a little bit, a little tighter on the crop. All right. I think I've got the ink work. Don't want to duplicate that. I've got the ink work ready. I've erased everything out, and I've got the multiply layer on. And now we're going to create a new layer for the watercolor. So image size is 600. Image size is 600, and inches is this is basically 4 by 4 inches at 600. And I just scanned it in 100%, and I've got the resolution on 600. That's important. Clients like the 600. It's not too pixelized. It gives them something clean to work with. All right. So for years and years, I did traditional watercolor with, like watercolor brushes and watercolor paint. And then, lo and behold, so let's go here to brushes and let's see if I can find my brush options. What media? There's a watercolor. And I'm looking for a specific brush in the watercolor. It's Natural Edge. Right there. There it is. And it's the first one. Natural Edge. And I got the brush size like 120. Let's just do 120. All right. And so uh, I'm going to start with the skin color. I'm creating a skin. I'm going to create like a shadow under the neck and in certain spots. So that's too dark. Let's get it a little lighter. All right. So just like my line work on the ink where I can erase, I do the same thing with the watercolor brush. I know that I'm going to erase out. I don't have to, I just overshoot and know that I'm going to have to erase out at some point. All right, so now we're going to do hang on, let's do this first. I commanded Z and I'm going to erase. You'll see what I'm doing now. So I'm on that watercolor, first watercolor, and everywhere that I overshot, I'm going to go ahead and erase. And this is why I say it takes longer than when I do a select and fill on the main style that I work in. I'm able to just simply select an area and fill it, and it's a flat color. But in watercolor, you're working in layers. It's got this textured um, to it, and all right. So I'm coming in here. I'm cleaning up around the watercolor. Now, let me go back to Alicia's situation. You know, I, I found her work on Instagram. She was in the Ukraine. They were getting Her country was getting devastated by the war. This was probably back 3.5 years ago. She had to move, leave her family. It was hard, and I thought, here's somebody that does this as a hobby, has the potential, and I just agreed to bringing her in as an apprentice, just for her to learn and see if she could transition to become a professional. And it's taken a long time, no question. But she stuck with it. She's had a great attitude, and I really so I've got another layer. So this is the layer, that first layer of skin tone, and now I'm creating a second layer. So now I'm on layer 3, and this is going to be I'm creating my color, and I'm going to be working on top of the other. All right, now let's get some pink for the cheeks, and then another layer. I'm gonna make pink on the tongue. All right, come in and clean this up. So you can see this was a layer and this is a layer. So now I'm working with this layer. And again, I'm having to clean it up. On my main style, I wouldn't have to do this cleanup. I just click and fill. But, and this client that I'm working with today, I have been working with them for years and years, and they call me for every issue that they produce, which is nice. I don't have to solicit that. They've got me as part of their routine. So they've got the same writer for this page in the magazine, and they've chosen to use me as the same illustrator, which is great. We've got a working relationship that's been in existence for many, many years. And the reason I like that, obvious, is I don't have to send them an email, say, hey, I'm out here, would like to work together, you know, because that's normally what I have to do is I have to send cold emails out. But I have a number of clients that I'm on their radar and I'm part of their routine. I'm part of their system. When they produce the magazine, each issue, I'm just part of their team, and I'm not, I'm considered freelance contract, but they don't think twice. They know when they come to that page, they've already got their illustrator picked out, and I'm the guy that they want to use, and I love that because it's secure work. We develop a healthy working relationship. I know what they want. They know what I provide. It's seamless. It's ideal. I mean, those are the types of clients that when I have them and I get them, boy, I roll out the red carpet, and I never ever complain. I never make any noise. I just give them what they ask for. If they ask for revisions, I give them revisions. Now, let me say this about this existing client. This client in particular allows me to do the final work without even showing her a sketch. So I sat down and did this illustration. I didn't even show her a rough sketch. I just give her. Now, the caveat with that is if she doesn't like it, she can always push back and say, "Hey, you missed the mark. We need to try again." Um, and then I just do it again. I give her a different idea. But um, I feel like over the years I've learned kind of what it is that she needs, and she just kind of trusts me and gives me a really long leash to do what I want to do, and she cuts me loose. All right, so that's the tongue. The tongue is done, and that's the second layer of skin, and there's the shadow. All right, so we've got that. We've got that built. That's done. Let's see. All right, and I got to do the pants, the shirt, the shoes, the shadow, the bags, the vegetables, the hair, and I'm not gonna do any background color on this one. I'm gonna leave this as a spot. All right, let me let me stop talking and focus here, and I'll put on some music or something during this part, or I might speed it up a little bit so you guys aren't so bored, like watching grass grow. But trying to create some sort of all right. Let's do some hair. Okay. No, I gotta come out and erase. All right, back to Alicia. If she chose to start working on some watercolor, obviously I couldn't stop her. I mean, everybody has their options, but I would not promote it on the agency site until she hits the $3,000 a month with her first and primary technique, which is the ink line and the solid fill. But if she wants to practice this on the side as extracurricular, I mean, that's great. Go for it. But and I would applaud that effort and energy, but I'm not going to entertain it as a style that I'm going to promote on the site until she can hit the benchmark to make enough money with her first style. All right, so the reason I have an agency for illustrators, it's a business, and we have to make money. If we're not making money together, we don't need to be together. I mean, I mean, it's great to to have friends and stuff, and but man, I got so much family in my life. I ain't got time for friends to be honest. I mean, my family is my friends. I mean, Sarah, I have a sister and she has a husband. They didn't have any kids, and that's okay. Uh, and but on the other side, with Sarah's side, she has three sisters, and they each had kids, and those kids have kids. So we got a huge family on that side. On my wife's side, when we all get together, there's over 40 people that show up on any given family event, and we usually get together like once every week, once every 2 weeks. We'll have celebrate a birthday. We'll have a dinner together. We'll have a camp out. Uh, so and I prefer most of the time I prefer just time by myself anyway. So I would consider myself an introvert, and I really prefer time alone opposed to with other people. But if I'm going to spend time with other people, it's usually my family, and that's pretty much it. I do have, we do some real estate on the side in addition to my illustration. We've been doing real estate for years and years, and but I would say that those are working colleagues. I wouldn't say like, hey, we're friends, let's go hang out, let's go to a baseball game or something together. We get together and we talk shop. Illustration is a very, you have to be okay in your own skin and have time alone. It's a very solitary uh, profession that you spend a ton of time by yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Kind of wired that way. You can see I got to paint in the carrots here in a minute. All right, we're getting closer. I got to do. So this illustration is $300. Start to finish is 1 hour. $300 an hour is I don't get paid by the hour. I get paid by the project. I usually make more than that per hour, uh, most of the time. 90% of the time. Carrots. Oh, that's a little heavy. Uh, Clean that up. So this is on a different layer. Like the green leaf is on a different layer than the orange part of the carrot. I can turn that on and off. You can see that's isolated. All right, let's see all the colors on. I got to do something with that shirt, or I got to make the bags pop and put a color behind there. Uh, all right, let's lock these down so I don't mess with them, and let's figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to color the shirt in and put some. All right, let's just do it. Let's not talk about it. A little purple, bigger brush, and uh, All right. Uh, nice. So now I got layer 7 open, and I'm coming in to clean this up. Happy to overshoot because that's just I like the brushes to be bigger, and instead of working smaller, and just take the time to erase out because it covers more area, and I don't feel like I'm having to. I just like the way the brush looks when it's more open and bigger, and then I just take the time to erase what I don't need when I overshoot. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed sitting along with me. If you're part of the apprenticeship, please let me know that you watched the video. If you are a YouTube subscriber and you would like to see more content like this, please let me know that as well, if it's been helpful. If you're on Substack, thank you for your support. I haven't really set up any money. Like, I'm not asking for money on Substack. I'm just giving it away for free right now, trying to build an audience. Let's finish these shoes. Erasing out the shoes. Um, Again, my name is Travis Foster. I'm an illustrator based in Nashville, Tennessee. I have been doing this full time professionally for 37 years. I absolutely love my career path and what I've chosen. I specialize in editorial. I do a lot of children's books and kid magazines and magazines for adults, and I do a lot of work for ad agencies and publishers for games. I like it. I think I gotta clean that out. That blue right there. Where is that blue? It's on layer 5. I missed that earlier. Let's clean that out. Okay, I'll save this as a Photoshop file, and I'm gonna send it to my client. That was fun. Easy peasy. All right, file save. I'll show you what it looks like in the layout too. So I'll save this. I'll save it again, save as. And this is going to be for Dawn. Okay, and then I'm going to uh, copy. This is what it looks like in the layout. Transform, scale. Uh, Something like that. on. Uh, yeah, it'll look like something like that. You got it. Man, carrying his bags. I'm carrying almost 10 bags per arm. I got 4 on this side and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. So it is what it is. They get the gist of it.